Hi, I'm Community Resource Officer Kruger with the Ames Police Department, better known as CROK. We're here today to give a tour of an Ames Police squad car. So come on along as we tour the police car. So we're going to start at the front of the police car here, and you're always going to notice one of these big metal looking things. It's called a push bumper. What officers can do with this is if a car is broke down or involved in a car accident, we need to get it off the roadway safely. Officers are able to pull up to this and they can touch the vehicle in front of them and we can push them out of the roadway, and it doesn't really leave any damage to our vehicle or their vehicle. So it's a very handy tool that is used. We'll go around the side of the squad car here, as you will see. Another big thing that you're going to notice, you always see these on the police cars. This is a giant spotlight that officers can use from inside, which we'll show you in a little bit here, but officers are able to turn this every which direction they want to go, and it's just a giant spotlight that they can use. On the side of the mirror, we're all about being visible and being seen. These are little lights on here for emergency lights, so these are red and blue lights when we need to have them going. Of course, on top of a police car, you'll see our giant light bar up here. This has lots of white lights that we can just use, and it also has all of our emergency red and blue lights in here so that we can be very visible on the roadway so people can see us coming. On the back of our police car, we have several different items. You'll always notice, you'll see Ames Police Department in reflective tape. It helps us to be more visible. Our vehicles are the Ford Explorer, the hybrid model, all-wheel drive. They are extremely eco-friendly, very great for the community. Up top, you'll see more lights, more of our emergency lights right in here that we can turn red and blue. So the lights keep us safe, and it keeps you safe if we're dealing with you, because we want to be as visible as we possibly can so that everybody can see us and nobody gets hurt. Indicate call 911 if you ever have an emergency. If you think that your life is in danger or someone else's life is in danger, don't hesitate. Always call 911 right away. Again, you see more of the emergency lights, same as the driver's side. We also have the emergency lights on this. Again, we want to be as visible as we can when we're out there on the streets, making sure that we're safe and that you're safe as well if we're dealing with you. Come on along, let's get into the inside. So, as you can see, it's a lot like a regular car that you would drive at home, but it also has features to help us do our job. So as we talked about before, here is where the handle where I can run that spotlight, and it rotates it all around as I'm driving. Up top in here, if you swing in a little closer, you can see our radar machine right here. So this can tell us how fast people are going, and their speeds will pop up here on our actual little dashboard right up here, and it tells me how fast I'm going, how fast the person's going, if they are speeding or not. We'll keep going right in the front. Up front here, you see this little device right here. This is actually a camera system. It has multiple different angles on it, which we can look at from our display screen up here. Next, something that we use quite often is our computer. This is how we run all of our systems. We can communicate with other officers, other agencies within Story County or dispatch. It would also show us our calls for service when I have up our application that we use. Due to the confidential nature of some of the items on that, I can't show you some of that screen, but it would also show us where all the officers are. In case they weren't responding, we needed to get to them. So you'll see officers on the side of the road, often on the computer, looks like this. You know, they're not playing on the internet. We are using this to do our jobs. There's a lot of typing that goes into our work, so we've always documented what we do. So it's very common. You'll see officers parked in parking lots along the side of the roads, and they're looking up information about calls for service, people that we're interacting with, or we're just trying to get our work done for the day. Next little item you see on here, very common that we will use, this is our radio system. So this is the microphone that I would push down just like any kind of walkie-talkie that you would have or ever see. We can talk to dispatch or other officers through here. Our computers do shift and slide around so that we can use them a little more efficiently. Now when we were talking about the radar machine up here, this detects how fast people are going. This shows me how fast they're going, and this allows me to control that. So I can check speed or traffic that's coming at us. I can check traffic that's coming behind me, going the same direction, all done on a remote, kind of like a TV remote. This kind of controls my radar system. As you see, it's like a normal car where I've got my radio system. It would show me what music I'm playing, if I need to turn the air conditioner on, the heater on, all very common to everyday vehicles. Now I was talking about our microphone that is attached to our radio system. This is our radio system here, so I can adjust the volume up. If I need to change the channels to talk to different agencies or talk to somebody different, I can flip right through all those channels however I wanted to do, or whoever I was needing to talk to. Down below, I'll turn this car on so you can see some lights will switch up. But this is my control system for all of our lights. I have an air horn, which is very loud, so in case I'm trying to get someone's attention. If I need to turn my lights on, I can turn lights on just behind me, so that way oncoming traffic, if I'm on the side of the road, doesn't see it and get super distracted. We have both front and back, so now every single light on my police car is going to be going. And when the car is in gear, my last option, this is how I turn the siren on. So we have multiple different options that we can do with our emergency signal. As I talked about before, if you look up top here of our emergency lights, there'll be a left alley light that I can turn on and off, so it's a giant spotlight. And then in front now, I can turn on all those white lights that I was talking about before. I can also, if you go on the back side of our emergency lights, I can also make there an arrow. So I can change directions. If I want cars behind me to get over to the left, I keep it like that. If I want cars to move over to the right, I can turn it like this. And if the road's kind of blocked and we just want everybody to be aware that we're here, we can make the arrows go both directions kind of at the same time with just a caution. So those are just some of the great features that we use on a daily basis. All right, and just as I talked about before, like a normal car, our police car has 2 cup holders. Often you can have a water bottle, and if you need a little caffeine, somebody will have coffee or pop or whatever their other choice is. We have different electronics to plug in, so if you need to charge your phone or other adapters to charge items, we can. Our police cars have cell phones in them, so that in case we need to call people, reference reports, we can. We have a printer in our cars. So if we need to print something out, or if somebody got a citation for speeding or not wearing their seatbelt, we use that on our computer. When we print it, it comes right out of this machine right here, right in front of us. Very quick and handy. We like to keep a lot of cleaning products on hand to keep our vehicles clean. Kleenexes, you never know when you need to blow your nose. We have emergency kits with tourniquet kits and medical kits right in here, real handy. So in case somebody had a severe injury that needed to stop the bleeding, this is our tourniquet kit. We have gloves, lots of rubber gloves to make sure that we're safe and keeping you safe. As you can see here, these are our long guns. Each squad car is outfitted with a police shotgun and a rifle in case we need to get into an emergency type situation. We would have those. These are all locked up. They are a secure code to try to unlock them, so that if somebody broke into our vehicle, they couldn't just get in here and actually take these out. So there's some special features that need to be done in order to unlock the guns. So if we are transporting somebody and we have somebody transported in our back seat, we can see them through the plexiglass screen that we have, and we can talk to them. We just have to be a little louder since they're on the other side of a screen. So the plexiglass back here that we have just kind of keeps anybody that we are transporting in the back seat so that they cannot get out for any reason if they're not supposed to be able to get out. Now we'll take a look and see what it looks like back there. As you can see in the back seat, again, it's similar to everyday cars. We have 2 seats. We have seat belts that we keep up here at all times, so it's easiest if we have to sit down and transport somebody, they sit down and we can just get them buckled right in. Super easy and quick. They are made out of plastic, so it's not going to be as comfy as your vehicle at home. In case there's anything that needs to get cleaned up back here, any spills, it's a lot easier to clean this up in case you've ever spilled something in the back seat of your car. So that makes it very convenient. As you can see, again, there's kind of a cage here in the back, so that way if we're transporting someone and they're not supposed to get out, we can keep them in here. If you look at the windows as well, there is that plexiglass on here so that the window couldn't get broke for any reason. Also, as you noticed, the other difference is there are no door handles. So if we are transporting somebody back here, obviously we don't want somebody to get out, so we make sure that they would be locked in here. We'll go to the back and take a look at some other fun tools that we have. All right, now we'll take a look at the back of a squad car. I'll show you some of the great tools that we use on a regular basis. We'll start out. We have a first aid kit. Again, with more tourniquets, gauze, badges, Band-Aids, any kind of simple first aid that we need, along with some severe first aid kit, trauma kits. So we have a hazmat suit, gloves, goggles in here, so in case an officer gets on scene and they need to make sure that they don't want to get anything that's there on their clothes or their person, they can put the suit. There's an actual suit that they put on, so it covers up their arms. It's just like putting on a giant coveralls to go sledding, so to speak. So that would cover us up and it would keep you safe from getting anything that's dirty on ourselves or any kind of chemicals. Next, we have here is our AED. I'll show you. So all of our police cars have one of these, because in case you have to call 911, we don't respond to just crimes that are in progress. If someone was having a life or death medical condition, we show up, and since we're out on the streets, we're going to be the first person there, typically in a life or death situation. So if someone's having a heart attack or any other kind of medical condition, we show up, and if their heart is stopped and we have to do CPR with this, we also have a AED. So we can do CPR and shock their heart if it needs to be done. So that's a great tool that we have in here. We also carry in here some Narcan. So these are special little tools in here that allow us, in case someone has had a drug overdose, we can help them overcome that drug overdose and get medical attention. Next, all police cars are going to have in there is a bag full of paperwork. All sorts of different papers that we need to use for doing our jobs and documenting different things. So every police car is going to have one of those. We have most of that on our computers as well, but a paper copy is always great. We keep in here, this is our police shield. So in case officers have to make entry into a building to make sure that they're safe, we can have one of these in there. So all police cars are going to have one of these, as you can see. We'll put that back. We also have an extra plate carrier vest. So if you had another person that was with you, or you had to slip on extra protection, it's basically a bulletproof vest that you could put on over top of you, or if you had somebody else with you that didn't have one for some odd reason, we could put that on them as well to protect them. A couple things up here we use. Officers use these on a regular basis. This is a sound meter that every vehicle is going to have. So in case we're doing a noise complaint, we can pull up and we can get out and we can actually check to see exactly how loud somebody is being, to make sure that they are over the City of Ames noise ordinance or not. We keep a sharps container in there. Officers do find, and people do find, needles and other sharp objects on the street that we want to make sure they are taken care of safely. We have window tint meters. So if you need to check a window tint, because your windows can only be so dark in the state of Iowa, so this allows us to check that to make sure that you are not breaking the law with that. See what we got in the next big drawer. Well, we'll show this one real quick. These are our stop sticks. So in case a vehicle was trying to run from police and we were trying to get it stopped, we could use these, and officers could station up ahead of them down the road, and they would unwind it, throw this all the way across the road, wind some of the rope up, and then when a car would go right over the top of it, it would pop their tires and hopefully slow them down so that they could be apprehended later. So, in the last drawer we got here, we've got if you want to come in here, this is an officer's patrol roll up to a, let's say, a burglary, or they need to get any kind of fingerprints or footprints potentially for evidence of a crime as to who the suspect is. This was kind of what a mini kit would look like. So there's different evidence bags. If they collect things, they can put them in different kinds of bags. More gloves always. Again, more bags. And there are different types of fingerprint dust collectors. So essentially, we can, here's the tape, there we go. There are different kinds of powders, different types of colors that you could put, and it's just a little powder on there. I could sprinkle that powder on there, and I could try and collect fingerprints and rub it all over and see if there's any prints on there. And if there was prints, then we simply get out some tape and we can put some tape over it and try to collect those fingerprints. We keep more batteries in here in case we have cameras. There's different sizes of tapes depending on how big of an object you're trying to pull prints off of. There's little stickers that have measurements on there so we know how big something is. We have little swabs, like Q-tip swabs, if we needed to collect evidence. We also keep on hand like a little fingerprint card. So in case we found fingerprints, I would want to take your fingerprints to make sure that the fingerprints I found weren't yours so that we could try to get the suspect. Thanks for coming along on the tour of our Ames police car. Hope you learned something and hope it was fun for you. We'll see you next time.